This episode is in collaboration with Run North West. Run North West offers specialist running retail both in store and online, as well as high quality events since 2016. From their specialist running store in Wilmslow, Cheshire, Run North West provides UK's biggest in-store choice of running shoes, apparel and nutrition, where you can view all their online stock in one place. Their team of experienced runners offer expert advice and complimentary gait analysis to ensure you get the perfect fit for your needs. Run North West are official stockists of many leading brands including Hoka, Nike, Asics, Adidas, On, Saucony, Puma, New Balance, Brooks and Garmin. Their extensive apparel and nutrition range includes Bandit, Soar, Satisfy, Tracksmith, Morton and Nomio. You can keep up with upcoming events by following them on Facebook at Run North West and Instagram at run_north_west.
Welcome to episode 140 of the Local Runners Podcast, the podcast by runners for runners. We're your hosts, I'm Callum Parkinson.
I'm Dave Norman.
And I'm Katie Kay.
So today we've got a Wilmslow runner. She has PBs of 5k 17:16, 10k 35:29, half marathon 79:33 and the marathon 2:46:54, which makes her the fastest Whittingham. So please welcome Louisa Whittingham. Welcome.
Welcome.
So we'll start off by finding out when and how you first got into running.
Yeah, so definitely come from a running family, as you briefly mentioned there. So my parents both run, but it's mostly comes from my Grandad. So my mum's side is a runner through the 60s mostly, in the sort of same era as Ron Hill. Very good runner. But I sort of didn't delve into it particularly quickly. Did it at school a bit, school sports day, etc.
Yeah.
Was dragged to park run when I was about 11, 12, I'd say. Willingly, probably mostly, than dragged. But yeah, and kind of just started to get a bit more competitive with it. Did lots of sports at school, did hockey, did football, did everything, rounders, whatever. Just liked sports, I knew that for sure. So I'm not sure I'm going to be a runner. My parents are runners, not sure I'm going to be a runner. And then I thought, I'm not bad at this actually. Like, we picked for cross country for school and stuff like that. Came sort of second and third in school sports day, and I was like, oh, that girl that won, she's the only person in a running club. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to join a running club. And doing park runs as well, you start to get a bit competitive within your age group or whatever. There wasn't many 11 to 14 year olds doing Bramwell Park run as fast as you could, but there was the odd one that had turned up, and I was like, okay, I think I've got to join a running club. So joined when I was about 13. I was just double checking. Joined Macclesfield Harriers.
All right.
It was the closest junior club for us. So I grew up in Buxton until the age of 10 and moved to Wilmslow, which is where my family still are and where the shop is.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it started.
Cool. So, like you said then, you've come from a massive family of runners, and then your Grandad running in the Ron Hill era, who ran for Bolton. You mentioned then about your mum, who was a Welsh international.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, she sort of did cross country and such. Gave it up when she was in the late teens, really.
Right.
Didn't like the competitive side, whereas I think I'm quite the opposite.
So you get that from your dad?
Yeah.
Well, she's back running now.
Yes, no, to be fair, she got back into competitive running maybe 5 to 10 years ago now,
right.
Which is really nice to see. So she does the cross countries and stuff.
Oh.
Not all the time, but I'll do 10Ks and get stuck in. Likes to be competitive in her age category now, so a bit different, but yeah.
Did she run for Wilmslow as well?
No, she runs for Wilmslow Striders.
Right, okay. Oh, I didn't know there was a Wilmslow Striders.
But my dad's Wilmslow running club.
Right, okay.
So, yeah.
Does that get competitive then?
I'm
joking.
No, not really. I think they're slightly different clubs. Wilmslow Striders was set up as a less competitive. I think it's a fair thing to say.
Yeah.
Although they've got some pretty good runners now, so as all clubs they grow.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about running at Bramwell Park Run, and we mentioned that in the last interview as well, that it was the first park run up in the north.
Yeah.
So when you ran, what was that dynamic like with running? Did you run with your mum and dad, or did you just run on your own?
No, I run on my own.
Yeah.
I can't remember how long it took me to get past my mum. My dad was pretty good at the time. I don't remember sort of what times he was running, but I think I was around my mum's time, and I was quite keen to get past her. I think we didn't run together; we'd run on our own. I don't really remember, like, you think as an 11-year-old, probably not very good at pacing. I'm sure I wasn't. But I'd always have a sprint at the end, regardless. And I'd be knackered. Like, I'd go full out. Whereas my sisters were never quite as keen to do that. They'd have to be dragged and they'd walk a bit. They took a little bit longer to get into the sport properly. But they both run more now, which is nice to see.
Yeah. Right, proper family of runners then, yeah.
Absolutely all of us, even the dog sometimes.
We've heard about your dog many times.
Yeah, she's asked for a mention today, actually. Shout out to Sprout. Dave's best friend.
You have lots of stories about Sprout.
He's not left me alone today.
So just going back to when you were at school, so your school sports day, you mentioned that you kept finishing second or third in the 1500 metres to this girl that was in a running club. Did you find what running club that she ran for?
She was Stockport Harriers.
She was Stockport, right.
Which I might have joined, it just Macclesfield was a bit more convenient to get to, I think, was the main reason. There was a really good group at Macclesfield at the time. Not really my age group, like slightly younger or slightly older.
Right.
But some really good runners. We had Sian Heslop, she won national cross country under 15, under 13 maybe as well.
Right.
So it was a good group. And my colleague Finn Profit, actually. He was very good too.
So you actually managed to beat that girl that kept winning at school. So was it quite satisfying knowing that the hard work that had gone into the sport, into the running club?
Yeah, I think it was quite nice to just see, well, actually, if I just get a bit of training in, because I would only go Tuesday, Thursday. I'd hardly run other than that, but I'd go to the track every Tuesday. Well, every Tuesday I was allowed to do, and then it was like, my parents were like, how much do you want to do it? Okay, I think I'm ready for Thursday as well. And then it was every Tuesday, Thursday, maybe a race or a park run on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But other than that, I hardly went for a run. But I don't think this girl did much more training than me, to be fair. I think it was just the point of getting structure into it.
Yeah.
And at 12, 13, I don't think we knew how committed I was going to be. So they didn't want to, parents never wanted to push me to do too much, which you see sometimes, which is a bit...
Yeah. So was it a bit of a travel as well to Macclesfield Harriers, or was it...
Oh, it's like 20, 25 minutes.
Ah, right, so not really
not
far at all then.
They'd have to drive me there and back. I think my dad would just go on a run while he was there. Or sometimes join in with the seniors, but yeah.
Oh, cool. So you mentioned, when we asked for a little bio, you mentioned that your English national cross country progression, and you went from going from 265th as an under 15 to 8th as an under 20 in 2018. So what do you think clicked for you during those 4 years that allowed you to climb over 250 places?
Yeah, I think when I came to 165th, I think that was really early on. Like I'd maybe done one cross country season, and just thought, I think my granddad was quite keen for me to do it, because I'd done like the Macclesfield and Staffordshire League, Manchester League and Staffordshire League, so I was like, yeah, right, this might be fun. And I don't think I knew how like competitive it was. And then I'm absolutely out the back. Like I remember thinking, there's not many people behind me. I'm not sure I should be here, basically. But I still had a really good time. And then I think just the consistency from that. I don't think I'm a prodigy, but obviously I had some background of talent.
Yeah.
Be it genetic or whatever. And I think every year I'm very competitive as well, but you put more work in, you see more reward, and if you keep doing that, you think, oh, actually, this could be quite good. The 2018 was my first year of uni, and I think that was quite a switch, because I was at Macclesfield Harriers, had lovely coaches, Pauline, Bob, Fred, Alison. Unfortunately, Pauline and Fred aren't with us anymore, but they were really, really lovely, but we didn't have, like, outside of Tuesday, Thursday, there wasn't really much coaching. That's the setup for juniors, and I think that's correct, really. Yeah. But I get to uni and I start getting coached by Luke Gunn, who, if you don't know, is the steeplechase British champion in 2000, like mid-2010s, would you say, Dave?
Yeah, something around that time. Quite a few times, actually.
Yeah, like really, really prestigious runner who literally switched from his career in running to coaching around the time when I joined. And he was like, hey, I've got some open spots. Would anyone like to be coached by me? And I thought, yeah, all right, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I'll do some some proper running.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, I remember talking to him and like, yeah, I want to do loads of miles. That's what I want to do on loads of miles. He's like, wait a second. So I think just upping the mileage, concentrating on it more. The group at Birmingham at the time was pretty ridiculous. I think it's more ridiculous now. If you know the setup at Uni of Birmingham, you've just got internationals after internationals, but the setup then was pretty good. We had Sabrina Sinha who was winning nationals, and actually I felt quite amateur amongst that group. But I had a bit of a stand-up year, and a bit of a surprise coming 8th at nationals. I think I thought I'd come around 20th, something like that. I remember starting the race going, oh no, I'm a bit far forward here. I didn't I was just waiting for people to overtake me.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen. And my granddad and my sister were watching, and I just remember my granddad screaming at me like, you're top 10, and I was like, flipping heck, I'm top 10. I think I've gone too fast. And then the finish came round, and I was like, I feel great.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think I've probably had 2 races like that ever. The other one would be when I won at the Manchester League, which doesn't sound as incredible, but it was a senior race in the Manchester League, and I was under 20.
Yeah.
Like, I think I was 18 or 19.
Yeah.
And the seniors that were in that race, I remember being like, oh, they're really good. And I didn't expect that one either. So I was like, right, this is my time. And then it led to me getting I'd say a minor England vest, but it's still an England vest.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, just going back to when you ran as an under 15, 265th, you must have had that mindset that you could go, because a lot of children at that age would have gone, I'm too far back, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm not good enough to go up there.
It's daunting anyway, isn't it, doing a big race like that, let's say, so at that age,
I remember watching the senior men's race, and there probably was like 1,000 runners. And the junior races is less people, but and it definitely the fields get smaller, particularly in the women's field. So under 20 is a smaller field than under 15. Yeah, that makes sense. But everybody that's left is trying pretty hard. Yeah. So I still think I was proud of my 8th. But I didn't think much of it. I think I just thought, this is a bit crazy, but whatever. I wasn't as invested, so it didn't really matter to me as much then, I don't think.
You don't realise, I don't think, as much, do you? It's only like now, like you say, when you look back, you think, well, actually,
I couldn't have done any better on the day, I'm sure. I tried my hardest, but also I think like cross country's hard. Yeah. You're going to get whatever place you end up with. I mean, I think, was it maybe 2 years ago, I was 100th at nationals in my senior. Like, that's the first time I did a proper senior champs. I did the one before that was postponed and came 30 something or something like that, but I don't really count that one because it was a much smaller field, and I got absolutely battered at the last one I did. So you can't rest on your laurels either.
I've often thought on that subject that if you're somebody who's at the front end as a junior and used to winning all the time, you're actually less likely to stay in the sport because you're only going to go backwards, aren't you? So you're used to winning, and then you stop winning, and you just think,
do you see that quite a lot then?
Quite a lot, yeah.
A lot of names that
winning things. Whereas actually, you know, if you to Louisa's point, if you finish in 265th in Louisa's case, and then you just get this year-on-year progression, I think you're actually more likely to stay in the sport because you see that progression. You know what all this effort is and hard work I'm putting in is paying off.
Good point. Yeah,
I mean, I could list 10, 20, 30 people that were phenomenons when I came 265th that either don't run now or maybe haven't actually made any progression. There's some that have. There's the odd one, but I actually think a lot of the best juniors fall off the wagon, and I think that's what helped me keep motivated, and then I get to the age of 18 and I can get my head around not progressing again. It's hard, but you're a bit more mature then, whereas if you're 14 and you're worse than when you were 13, you're like, oh, that's rubbish.
Well, it's like Oriel Hardman had the same, didn't she? She stopped obviously because she mentioned about having reds, but she also stopped from that side, and then she's come back into the sport and she's hitting some fantastic time. So there's probably a lot of people
started hitting PBs again.
It's ace. So staying with 2018, that peak year included a senior women's win at Heaton Park to get that northern vest. A northern vest, and an England under 20 vest in France. So what did you do in France?
It was like quite a low-key international. I mean, you have to submit your interest, which I think a lot of them are, unless it's the Olympics or whatever. It was a 10k around the roads in a place called Rennes. It was a 10 laps of this 1k loop. The most notable athlete I can think that was there was Jimmy Gressier, which is pretty cool. He's now in like the Diamond Leagues, and broke many a record. Maybe has a European record now, I think. But other than that, it was pretty low key. I mean, I think he wasn't as good then either. It was fun. It was just under 20 and under 23.
Right.
So it was no seniors. So definitely an easier team to make in that respect. But it's good fun. I got a vest. Yeah. It's cool. I'll have that forever now.
Yeah.
Whether I get another one again, who knows? But it's the only one I've got so far.
So, so you were flying high at 18 years old. How difficult was it to suddenly be grounded by a severe bout of glandular fever that summer?
Yeah, not good fun.
No.
It was just, at first I was sort of like, I don't know why, I just felt ill. And I was like, I'd researched it and heard a couple of people had it, and I was like, that's what it is. I was convinced, and the doctor was like, no, I don't think so, but we'll do blood tests. And they called me up and they're like, yep.
You're right.
You've got glandular fever now. That felt quite nice, because I always like to be right. But, it was pretty annoying. Like, I don't think I knew what that meant for me, because I think I probably just thought, I'll be ill for a few weeks and I'll be fine. And I was fine. Like, the doctors are not worried about you. If you have glandular fever, you'll be okay. But it's quite common to get chronic fatigue and stuff like that. So I pretty much just stopped running for a few weeks, like zero running. And that's never fun, is it?
No.
Especially for illness. I feel like injury you can get your head around it. I can't run because my leg hurts.
Yeah.
But I can't run because the doctors told me not to run, and the coaches told me not to run. It's like, oh, for God's sake.
Oh.
It came at an annoying time, but these things happen.
Yeah. So you mentioned that some high-profile athletes never run the same after glandular fever due to the chronic fatigue. Did you feel overall that you were pretty lucky that you're able to get back running again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's difficult to know whether like being sensible was a part of that, like whether me taking time off. And obviously, like I had a really good year, but I wasn't international. I wasn't like probably international. I wasn't trying to make it as an athlete. Whereas some of the big cases are essentially professional or near professional, semi-professional, and you just think, maybe you would push through if you were at that level. But actually, where I was, it was the best thing to just take a step back, enjoy uni. I was second year of uni, so have fun doing that. Do some running, but running just didn't feel the same for a while. But I was okay. So it's difficult.
What is glandular fever?
Essentially, like your immune system shuts down a little bit.
Right.
I don't know. I really should know more that I had it. But the main symptom is chronic fatigue.
Right. Okay.
I think they're public about having glandular fever, but one main one was Amelia Greca.
All right.
She was European champion in cross country and doesn't really run anymore.
Right. Wow. And it probably because they've you took the sensible approach.
That's my guess, but I'm not speaking on her behalf. But
so it can have long-term effects then.
Kind
of like long COVID in effect. It can.
I think it's the same kind of problems that arise, but I got away with it really. Just not 8th at Nationals again. Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe. That's all my questions, so I'll hand over to Katie.
Thank you, Callum. So just touching on that glandular fever again, it says here that you stopped running for about 2 years. So is that right? Was that the impact?
I didn't stop running, but I'd say my performance compared to the year before was dramatically affected. I don't really remember what times I was running. I just remember being like, oh, I'm not very good again.
So it was a struggle to kind of get going again.
I'd be doing Midland Leagues, that's what we did at Birmingham.
Right.
And before I was kind of hoping to be top 5 to 10. And I was struggling to do that, but just feeling bad. You kind of know as when something's not right.
Yeah. So physically you felt bad. So how did you manage that kind of the mental side of it, given that you were like say you were at the University of Birmingham, it's quite a high, prestigious uni.
I definitely tried to push through at times.
Did you?
I'll be able to get through it.
Yeah.
I don't actually know how long it had an effect, because part of it mental, is part of it physical. And maybe sometimes there's sort of a bit of a case of, I feel bad because of this. Whereas actually maybe I could have run faster, I don't know. I think it was a busy time of life. I'm at uni, I've got hanging out with other friends.
You've got other stuff
we
going
went out
on.
quite a lot. Probably not the best lifestyle, particularly in the second year. And with having this issue, I wasn't so focused on performance, I think. So I kind of let that.
So it wasn't
take
the
a bit
be
of
all and end all at that point.
No, I think I've got quite a good head on my shoulders for that, and can rationalise running and leave that to be a separate thing in my life. I mean, it's still very important, but I think I just let it take a bit of a backseat, and just enjoyed uni. And then it was third year, and I had loads of exams, and just busy.
So, what year was that then when you had glandular fever?
2000. It would have been 2018 or 19.
Right. Okay. So, and then after that came COVID as well. So then you were affected by COVID. So it says at the point of COVID, you took the plunge on a full NCAA Division 1 scholarship to George Mason University in the US. So tell us a bit like that and what that was like around the time of COVID.
So I think I kind of got. I say I got lucky, but I did work quite hard to get my scholarship. As in, like, you have to be fast. There's that. So I had some times on paper. I had the England vest that I got. I had glandular when I ran in my England vest, by the way.
Right. Wow.
So a pretty disastrous race from me. And some would say maybe you shouldn't have gone. I just really couldn't pass up the opportunity. I tried as hard as I could, but I ran really badly that day.
But you've got the pictures.
Got the kit.
Absolutely.
Got the kit. It was some like old cookery kit as well. I don't know what they did. They were having a changeover in kit.
Really?
So it's like a kit that nobody else has ever had. It's a red cookery vest. I don't know. Pretty cool. But what was the question again? Remind me.
Sorry, so it was just asking at that point, so you'd been through glandular fever and then obviously
how I
we
got
hit
to America.
COVID and you ended up in America, so how was that time?
I emailed a load of coaches, so that was my strategy. So I kind of heard of it through friends and people I knew that had been or were already there, and I was like, that sounds quite cool actually. And I don't really know what I want to do right now. I could start working, but I didn't feel like I was ready to, and I kind of wanted a bit of an adventure. I went to do a couple of visits, so it's when you go to the university and they show you around and they're like, look at us, come here. And one of them didn't love, but I liked it enough that I would have gone, but they didn't offer me a full scholarship. And essentially, if you don't know about the NCAA, if they don't offer you a full scholarship and you don't have lots of money, you can't go. Right. So I couldn't go. The deal with my parents was, because you've already been to uni in the UK for 3 years, we're not paying for anything. And that's fair enough. So I was like, I think I can go for free. So that was the goal then. I was like, I'm going for free. The other school I went to was really cool. It was in LA. I just really didn't like the vibe of the coaches. Right. And then it turns out later that one of them got banned from coaching for like emotional abuse.
Oh really? Wow.
So that was quite a swerve on my behalf. I think I do feel like I've got good senses on these things. So I'm glad I didn't go there. I ended up going to a university called George Mason, which is one of my friends from Birmingham. He'd gone the year before. Okay. And he said, my coach would be interested in talking to you, because he knew that I was looking. So I chatted to the coach and he was like, you can come here. Basically that was like really chill. He's called Tony. He's lovely. And he was like, I think we've got a full ride for you.
And whereabouts was that?
It's like near DC.
Okay.
So it's a place called Fairfax, Virginia. So that's where I read from.
So how was it at the time of COVID though, like going and you were like wearing face masks and all that kind of stuff, or how did you adapt?
It was hard, but I knew, so they gave me the option actually, do you want to stay and come in January? And we'll send you your money and you do your course from home. So I was doing a master's in sports management. And they were essentially going to send me probably proportionally more than if I was to go to stay at home. And I was like, that sounds boring. I don't want to just sit at home and do a course. The reason why I'm going is to meet people and go there and live there and do these things. So I was like, no, I'm going. All the other internationals on the team who weren't new, they were there already. They all came in January. So I was the only international for a couple of months. which was
weird. What time of year? Because we went into lockdown, didn't we, in March or April?
So I think I may have signed the papers around that time.
Right.
Maybe even later, like April, May. And then I flew in August.
Oh, right, okay.
So it was peak, like, the plane was empty.
Was it?
Yeah, like I've got a full 3 seats to lie across. It was brilliant. In that respect, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
The masks the whole time, like,
yeah.
But yeah.
Were you scared? Because there was a lot of, like, it was quite a scary time.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, like, hype about it, wasn't there? Did you feel like...
Yeah, I think so.
Going away
as
from
much
home
as everybody
and all
else.
that, though, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I was 21.
Yeah.
So I'd lived away from home. I know it was only in Birmingham, but I'd lived
Yeah.
away from home for a few years. Kind of thought,
Yeah.
nah, I'll be all right. I think I'm quite a semi-adventurous person.
And obviously over here, there was a lot of restrictions on how many people could train together, and a lot of races were cancelled. So did that was that a factor over there for you when you arrived?
It was. So it was. I think they were pretty shut down until like that winter. But we were racing long before they were racing in the UK. Long before.
Oh, really?
We did like a COVID version of like our conference championships for cross country. It was no different. It was just that it wasn't official.
Right.
It was official, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think they just worked around the rules quite well.
Yeah.
We had to wear masks to practice. We had to get COVID testing once a week. We did a lot of COVID testing. I've never been tested for anything like that in my life. Like sometimes it's 2 times a week when there was cases. So if somebody tested positive, they'd up the testing.
Yeah.
And then they'd go down, and they even shut down the team for like a week at once.
Yeah.
Right.
We also got in a lot of trouble because it was a house party or something. Because these are also university students that you're dealing with, which I do think are different in the States than in the UK, because athletes, it's a bit more intense because you have to be at practice, whereas in the UK, do what you want.
Yeah.
Come to practice if you want to, or training. Practice, very American of me. But there was no like, you have to be here, whereas you would be kicked off the team in America if you didn't turn up training. So I think that was quite intense, and we had to wear buffs around our necks. So even if it was in the summer, it's like 30 degrees and humid. So you were in a sports bra and shorts and a buff.
No way.
And then every
it's
time
bad when you look back, isn't it? When you like look back, what we
it's
did.
crazy.
It is mad.
And every time you ran past a member of the general public, we were supposed to lift them over our nose and mouth. Which we did most of the time, but if there was a wide berth, you probably wouldn't. But we're running in groups, so we're like, if we're getting it between each other. If it's about. I remember landing. This was later on while I was there. Landing from home. This is way after COVID. I spent 11 months in America because it was 2 weeks to quarantine at home if I came home for Christmas.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't want to spend 2 weeks in my room.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to stay. So I just stayed.
Yeah.
And then when I eventually did come home and then flew back, I got a call from my coach as I was landing to say, do not go home. I lived with swimmers on the swim team, and one of them had COVID. Oh. They'd literally that day been told they had it. So he was like, do not go home. So I had to go and stay with other people on my team on their blow-up bed for like 2 weeks. It was pretty crazy.
It is mad when you look back into like what we did, but
weren't there
queuing to get in the supermarket?
There was a point as well, weren't there, where people were saying in the UK, you're not allowed to run because you're using more air or something like that. You're breathing more.
I got told off for breathing on a hill session once, and this was like out of
Don't
lockdown.
breathe on a hill session.
She was like, "You're panting," and I was like, "No, I'm just breathing."
Just out of breath.
and I've got as far away from you as I physically can. If you're that worried, what are you doing in the public park?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I wanted. I didn't say that. I'm much more polite than that in public.
It's mad though, isn't it? It is mad.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that American experience though? Because I think we spoke to a few people, haven't we, who've said that those kind of scholarships can be quite high pressured and quite different, as you've already kind of touched on, to England. So did you find it high pressured, and how did you manage that?
I think much more than in the UK.
Yeah.
Birmingham's a fairly intense programme because it's so good.
Yeah.
But again, there's no expectation to have to be there. And I wasn't making the A team for books in that team because the top 3 were like multi-time international runners. Yeah. So it's kind of like the pressure is lessened in that environment. But yeah, having to be at training, that was quite intense.
Yeah.
And like, you didn't have that much time off. You had 1 day a week where you didn't have to be at the track. Other than that, you were at the track for at least an hour every day, maybe more. Yeah, I think everything's a bit more heightened, and everyone's a bit more stressed, and performances are more looked at and criticised. And once or twice I butted heads with the coach, but that would be like if I felt like I tried my very hardest and they basically didn't. Yeah. Which is a difficult conversation to have, because you're like, I promise you, it was just a bad day. Yeah. It's not that I didn't try, because I don't do that. Yeah. Like,
would you recommend it to other people? To do
I would.
That
I think you have to be cautious as to where you go. Yeah. One of my main factors I was looking at when I was choosing, which I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have loads to choose from, because I wasn't really fast enough. Yeah. Because I had that setback, I didn't get the chance to run quicker. I was hoping to run under 17 minutes, for example, for 5k, because they're looking at your 5k and your 10k. That's all they care about in this, for me. Yeah. But yeah, I would recommend it. I just think you have to be cautious where you go. Yeah. Make sure there's things to do other than running, because some of the programs are like, you're in the middle of nowhere in Texas or something. Yeah. And if you're not running, you're stuck in this small town. There's a really good university for running and stuff, but you're stuck. Yeah. And if you've not got a car, public transport's rubbish in most places. If you're near a city, I think you can do it. Yeah. But
sounds
if
like
you
you
get
had a good
injured,
balance.
what are you going to do? Yeah. Just sit there and watch them run. And if you're running well, you could be anywhere and you have the best time ever. Yeah. But it is intense, and I've seen a lot of people break and a lot of people leave.
Yeah, we've heard that a few times, haven't we, about it being quite intense.
Yeah. I didn't want to be that person. Yeah. I think going at 21 is a big difference. Yeah. Because I'd already been in the UK, I'd been away from home. Yeah. I kind of knew
a bit of life experience.
Yeah, I kind of knew what worked for me, and I remember discussing that with the coach and being like, I know what kind of mileage works for me, because you get scared. Everybody says they're gonna run you down. They're gonna make you do loads of miles. I did more miles than I've ever done, but not. It was a normal progression. Yeah. And it was up to me, I would say.
Was it a lot of track running as well then?
Loads of track running. I haven't done a session on the track for a couple of months now. Right. But you were on the track at least once a week, maybe twice a week.
Because I was just thinking then, it says that you got your 10k track PB at 35:29, and that was on was it Raleigh Relays in North Carolina. And it says it was 25 laps of the track.
Yeah, I mean, if I had my way, I may never have done a 10k on the track, because 10k's on the track, if they don't go well, are the worst thing ever. It's just so many laps, it's so exposing. Yeah. Like, a 5k is pretty hard, 12 and a half. Yeah. Pretty hard. Yeah. The other bad ones were indoor racing, because it's a 200 metre track. And I did a couple of 5ks, so again, you're doing 25 laps. Oh, wow. But it's on an indoor track, which is like dry air. So you've got a completely dry mouth and throat.
Never run an indoor track, have you? No. You, Dave? Ever raced on an indoor track?
Only trained on one. Right. And it's not a pleasant experience.
It's not fun.
Is it
not?
No,
and the one at our uni was a...
Someone in the background there nodding that it's fun.
If you're a middle distance runner, I think it can be really good. Right. But I actually think for long distances it's shocking. Yeah. There's a couple of meets in America that are really good. Like, I went to Boston. I was really lucky to go to Boston to do. They're quite famous track races. The BU track races. Right. So it's at the track in Boston. It's indoor. Yeah. And every year there's a couple of races. And I did a 5k there. It went fine. Yeah. But people have magical races there, and we watched some pros do it, like American professional runners run incredibly fast, and it's the best atmosphere. It's really fun. It just didn't click for me. Yeah. But you had to do it. Yeah. So that's kind of the other thing, is you're in a cycle of cross country to indoor to outdoor. Yeah. And that's it. There's no road running. Yeah. Like even if I'd be like, oh, can I do a 5k when I go home in the summer? The coach is like, I'd like you to rest ideally and then do our program. Right. So it's like, and I kind of am a bit more haphazard with my racing. Yeah. I like road running. Yeah. I'd say cross country is my favourite probably. But the cross country in America is like just perfectly manicured, like grassy fields.
No, that's not cross country, is
golf
it?
Courses. They'd be like, oh, this is hilly, and I'm like, hilly?
Yeah.
That is not hilly.
Yeah. So did you kind of learn, again, any kind of like mental strategy in terms of, it sounds like you did a lot of like running in circles. How do you like get through that? Like, how did you do 25 laps on the track? Like what?
I think you just have to lock in. Like, my best race was probably at Raleigh, but I had a couple of good 10Ks on the track, which, as I said, I think if you have a bad one, it's rubbish. It's awful. But I was pretty fit at the time, so I knew I could do it. A couple of them were championship races. Like our conference champs.
10K on a
so
track.
I think championship racing versus basically time trialing, which is what Raleigh was.
Right.
It's quite different, because Raleigh I was just holding on to the person in front of me.
Right.
So I just you kind of zone out.
Yeah.
Just you watch in the back of someone's head, you might be singing a song in your head or something silly. Counting. Sometimes I generally count down from 60 just to have something to preoccupy my mind. Actually counting the laps is hard. Unless you're at the front, and that's fine. Because the lap count will do it for you. But if you're getting a lap, which happened to me on occasion, you're like, I don't know where I am now. Or you think I'm on the last one and you're not on the last lap.
And some very good runners can get laps on the track. So we've mentioned Emily Hagar-Kearney so many times on this podcast. Obviously dominates the Manchester League. I watched the live stream of a 5K on the track in London at the weekend, and I saw her get lapped.
Really? Wow.
I was lucky in that Raleigh race that I think it was like the C or D race, but I happened to be one of the best in that race. So I think I came like 3rd or 4th. But if I was in the A race, I would have got lapped. For sure, because they're running like 31, 32 minutes. Which is pretty cool, but it's fun when you're fit and you're ready. But it's pretty brutal.
Exposing as well.
Kate's just had her first experience track racing.
So I did, so I only did 1,500 and 3,000, but even that I was just like, I didn't really know what I was doing.
I did that as a junior, so I think there's a bit of like, I'm used to track running because when you're younger, that's all you do. Like,
so I think that's we were saying that, weren't we? Because we kind of started running later, we've not been exposed to that, so to then go into it as an adult, I was like, oh God, what do I do?
Scary, and you've got to put your spikes on.
Well, I didn't, I just ran in normal trainers.
Well, they even made you throw the shot put, didn't they?
Yeah, throw a shot put as well. I definitely had no idea at
I used to do javelin when I was like 13. I was going through my PBs for you guys, and I was like, oh, should I mention my javelin PB? And it's the only field event I was allowed to do.
Was it?
I tried to do triple jump at school, and I literally couldn't get a mark because I think you have to do it so, like you have to hit each of the steps quite perfectly. That even if I made it to the sandpit, they're like, nope, you didn't count. I'm like, I did it fine. I hopped steps and jumped.
No, it's not for me, that one. So just touching on, we talk about diet quite a bit. So it says, you told us that you found out that you had a gluten intolerance. And that kind of affected it. You thought it was just kind of fatigue, but then it turned out it was that gluten intolerance. So how did that come about, and how has it affected you in terms of kind of preparing for racing and fueling?
Yeah, I'm sure my dad's touched on Dad Andrew Whittingham, just for reference. The
slower.
He's not bad. And to be fair, he didn't have carbons for his races. So
did he not?
No, he's pre-carbon.
Don't be giving him excuses.
Nah. I mean, I'm like 4 minutes quicker, so
absolutely.
I'll take it. No, he's diagnosed celiac, and it's a 1 in 10 chance of it being passed down. So it was always, I had a bit of a bout of illness when I was younger, and they put me on a gluten-free diet because they thought that might be what it is. And it wasn't that. Well, maybe it was. And then I started working full-time in America for a year. So it's there's a nice student to work visa that you can do that's you pay a little bit of money. It's pretty simple. So I was like, I'll work for a year in America. You just have to work in the field that you studied in. So I was working in a running shop.
Oh, cool.
But like full time. And I was commuting there about 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes, and you had to get the metro and like living with new people, living with strangers. It was just all a bit overwhelming, and it was hot there in the summer. And I just was like, I just feel rubbish. Trying to go on runs every morning like normal. Because I'd done loads of running the year before. And I'm just trying to do 50 miles maybe. I've been doing 70. And it just felt rubbish. And it kind of felt like a couple of years back. And I was like, oh God, what's going on now? So I thought, I had tummy troubles, we'll put it that way. And I thought, maybe it's gluten. Let's give that a go. So I just cut it out. And I didn't feel immediately better. The obvious symptoms went away. But I still was tired and whatever. And then I went home. So I went home, moved back home 2024, just visa up. done.
Yeah.
And I started to feel better again. And I went to the doctors and they were like, well, if we test you for gluten, it's not going to show anything because you're not eating it for 6 weeks. And I was like, okay, fine. I don't really want to eat it.
Yeah.
Because then I'll feel bad again.
Yeah.
So I chatted to the doctor recently about it and she was like, you could get tested, but you're going to do an invasive test and you might not get any answer because, again, you've not eaten gluten. So I feel
just
much
kind of
better
self-diagnosed, but you assume that because it makes a
maybe it's celiac, maybe it's not, but
it's something.
If I'm chilled to not eat gluten, then I'll just.
So are you strict with that then in terms of your like diet?
Yeah.
Does it affect you being able to kind of fuel your running? Do you have to plan any different?
I mean the only thing is if you're away, like if you're on holiday, you might bring extra snacks that you know that you can eat. But essentially, it's bread, pasta, pastries, stuff like that, which
everything a runner wants.
The main thing I miss, I would say, is pastries because I don't think they've made pastries that taste as good.
Yeah, so you can get gluten-free pretty much everything.
Gluten-free bread's fine. Gluten-free pasta is great. I don't think you really notice the difference.
Yeah.
If I cook for more than just me, we'll have gluten-free pasta and you wouldn't even notice.
Right. So it doesn't affect your running or anything.
No, I think I'm pretty good at fueling, to be fair. I actually did used to eat a lot of bread, which maybe explains how easily I diagnosed myself with gluten intolerance because I probably ate so much that it showed up more than maybe for others. But you pivot. Yeah, there's alternatives.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're quite good. Everywhere you go now tends to have a gluten-free option. Doesn't it? So
you eat more rice, more potatoes.
Yeah. Cool. Okie dokie, so that's all my questions. So I'll hand over to Dave.
Thank you very much, Katie.
Thank you.
Right, okay, so you mentioned you moved back home. Was it 2023? It says in my notes here 2023, but I'm sure you just said 2024.
Really, it's 2023, you're right.
2023,
I get my years mixed up.
So you moved back home in 2023, and your coach and your family, they'd always told you that you had a shuffly running style, great pacing ability, and a lack of fast twitch fibres. They're very kind to you, aren't they?
I made them up, really.
Meaning that you were destined for the marathon. So did you resist that destiny for a while, or were you excited to finally step up in distance and tackle the marathon?
Yeah, I think I might have done it sooner if I didn't go to America. So I would have been 21 when I went to America, and then I left when I was turning 24. I think it was just about 24. And you can't really race more than 5k, 10k. So I was kind of stuck to the 10k really. Yeah. That's why I was on the team, is to be the designated 10k girl, because a lot of them want to do 1500, 800, 5k is more glamorous. Yeah. But my strong suit is definitely longer distances. But yeah, I definitely would have done a half at that point, like maybe a year or two before. I don't think I would have done a marathon until I did one. But I think it might have been slightly earlier.
So how old were you when you ran your first half and your first full marathon?
First half, I would have been 24-ish. Yeah, 24, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I'd done 13 miles endless times in training. Yeah. But properly raced it. Yeah. It was March 2024.
Yeah. And then for the marathon, when did you do your first one?
That was December 24. Yeah. So it was a little bit earlier than I'd initially planned. I had in my head... No, I was 25. I was 25 because I had in my head, I'm going to do the London Marathon. This is my first marathon. London Marathon. 2026. 2025. It's 2026 now. 2026, and I'm going to be turning 26 on that day. Call it serendipity or whatever. Yeah. But I kind of just thought, that'll be fun. I'll do London because I know the championship start is a thing that I can do. Yeah. I had the half time already, so that was my plan. And then the Valencia came up through work. Basically just said, do you fancy doing Valencia in December? And this was September time probably. Yeah. And I was training for Manchester second half marathon, proper half marathon. Yeah. And I said, well, I'm doing quite a lot of miles.
Why not?
And I was going to do it in April anyway. And maybe it would be nice to do a slightly more low-key one, which is funny to say about Valencia because I know it's fast. Yeah. But it's a lot less people and a lot less people get a bit
focus on it. Yeah.
People get a bit nostalgic and
London. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the telly and you watch it when you're young and you think, oh my god, I'm
everyone knows about it. Don't
we spoke before we started recording. We were saying London's not just about the race; it's about the occasion as well.
Yeah, I'm really glad I did London, but I think Valencia was a really good first marathon.
Yeah.
I went on my own, so it actually was. They had floods a few months before that, which were awful. And I got sent with a brand, and the brand said, "We're not going anymore because we can't, basically. But you guys are welcome to go. We still got the hotel booked and the flights. We just don't have to do usually do a shakeout run and a pasta party, and I probably was going to have to put stuff on my socials,
media stuff,
and that's not really what I'm into. So I wasn't the floods were bad. I would rather they didn't happen, but I was quite relieved to not have to shout about what I was doing, because I wanted it to be a bit more relaxed. So I was just on my own. I knew some people out there, but it was quite nice.
Let's talk about your those half marathon performances. So your first half marathon was at Wilmslow in 2024, and you ran a time of 1:21:17, and then you went on to run 1:20:01 later that year in October. So just 1 second off breaking 80 minutes. How annoying was it to see the clock stop so close to that sub 80?
It was really annoying. I think I definitely was fit enough to run sub 80, but I actually chatting with my coach afterwards. He was impressed that I ran 80:01. I mean, obviously 79:59 would have been really cool, but I think I outperformed what I was fit enough for anyway. My block hadn't been super specific. I trained pretty hard for Wilmslow half, but half marathon training wasn't something I was used to yet. And doing the sessions and whatever. So I was happy with the time. I remember absolutely I was killing myself at the end, running as hard as I could. But I could have if I'd have known. But when when the time on the clock, it's just going to be off, isn't it? Because the people that started ahead were 3 minutes ahead or something, because they set the first wave off 3 minutes before the wave I was in. So I didn't really have. You can't do maths like that when you're dead at the end of a race. And that finish, have you guys done Manchester half? That finish is a drag.
Did you have, because the year I've just looked then, so it was the year before I got my PB there, and they had the Puma Boost tunnel, and I ran to it and I thought that's the finish, and I absolutely belted it. And I got there and I remember because Matt Latham was pacing me, and I got there and I went, oh man, I've got to keep running.
From afar I thought that was the finish, and that was that was one of those races where I really was desperate for the finish. My family were watching that. Did you see me? I actually didn't see anything. I was a blur at the end of that race, because I think the half is a really hard distance. I think it's a great distance, but it can really hurt. And you're running pretty fast. So I knew I was around that, but I felt like I was flailing, and I really thought I was running 7-minute mile at the end. So I think I must have averaged 6:0 something, and it felt like that last mile was about 7 minutes, and it was only maybe 6:15, but it felt so slow. But actually, it wasn't.
It's got to be about 800 metres that. And when you turn on, it's because you turn off. Is it drag. Seymour Grove you turn off?
Yeah, Seymour Grove.
And it was a misty morning. It was just a bleak Manchester day, and I don't mind that. But it gets a bit quiet as well. There's not lots of crowds until you get to the finish. And I just remember being oh, let this be over now. Really, really struggling. But I was happy enough with it. I was really happy with it, but it was just 2 seconds. God.
So you mentioned that you ran the Valencia Marathon, and by which time you were being coached by your old university friend Jeffrey McGraw. So just let's quickly touch on how that change came about. You obviously were working with Luke while you were at uni, and then Jeffrey was coaching you in that marathon build-up. So how did that change of coach come about?
So I basically stuck with Luke until I left Birmingham, and that was we had the conversation. I was going to America, so there was no it's quite simple like that. You can switch coaches without anybody being upset. He's probably happy to get rid of me, honestly. I think I'm quite alright to coach. But it was when you go to America, you've got to lock in on their program. So then I was coached by Tony Mahalik, and then again I moved back home, so it's a simple shift. And then I kind of was maybe I want to be self-coached. I kind of know what I'm doing now. I could do this, and I did it for a little while. Chatting to Jethro, so apart from being a university friend, one of my closest friends, and he was like, "Do you want me to coach you?" Basically, I'd like to coach you. and he was new to coaching, but he'd started at Birmingham. He was part-time at the time, coaching the athletes there, but also doing some coaching for the company through Run Through, new levels coaching. So he's like a proper coach. So yeah, all right. Like if I'm going to do a marathon, I think it would be nice to have somebody help me, because that's completely new territory.
And someone that knows you as well.
I can muck together like 10k training probably pretty well, but the marathon was new and scary, and I think you just want to lock in and not have to overthink everything, because I'd set myself a session and I'd say I'm going to do 6 by whatever, and I'd do 5 because it's just me that knows that. And actually I think having somebody to tell you what to do and for you to respect that, I think it's really good. And to be fair, if I'm feeling tired, he's not going to force me to do all the reps or whatever. We've got a good relationship like that. But particularly for the marathon blocks, it was very important to have him on board.
So Jeffro coached you for your first marathon in Valencia, and your entry for that was quite late. It came through work at Run North West, but it was quite a late entry, and it says here you only had 8 weeks' notice to train for it. So just quickly talk about the sort of training you were doing in the run up to that. I remember seeing some quite big volume sessions you were doing within your long runs.
Yeah, so I think the main thing we talked about when I got this offer, which we both quite immediately were like, I should do it. Why not? What have you got to lose, basically? And I've not come from 0 miles. I'm doing mid 50 mile weeks, something like that, and I trained for the half properly, and I was like, well, I think it was like 6 weeks after the half, something like that, which is kind of a bit annoying when you know you've got a big race and then you've got to keep pushing through. But just put my cross country season on hold and just basically did lots of long run sessions, which I'd never done before. So I'd never ran over 16 miles. That's the longest I'd ever run before this marathon block. So doing 18 miles was new. Doing 20 miles was pretty scary. I think I did 121. I think that was the longest I'd gone before the race. So I probably only did 2 or 3 runs over 20 miles, which I think for a lot of people they'd say it's not enough. And actually from my other blocks, I did more. But I also knew that this wasn't like one where I was going to try and smash it. I was going to try and run it and have a nice time, run a good time. But there was no like far-fetched goal. I wasn't going to try and end and hate myself. I was trying to finish and have a nice time.
Did you have a nice time?
I did actually, I think the last 2 or 3 miles were pretty awful actually, because it's just so far and so unknown. And I did get a bit of a calf cramp with 5 miles to go. And I was like, this is it. Race is over, I'm going to be hobbling to the finish. It locked. And then it just didn't get any worse. I thought, if it doesn't get any worse, I'm fine. And every water station I was absolutely downing. Because I'd been sipping the water. Because you're not used to it. It's not that hot. Hot enough to not help with dehydration, but just kept sipping water. And then I was downing water. Like actually stop. Like if I couldn't quite get to a water station, I was stopping. Grabbing a full cup and drinking it all. And I do think that helped. I think since then my fueling in races is much better. I think probably I wasn't taking enough gels. I was taking a good amount. I think I had 5 to 23 gram gels. I think they're the Talk gels, which now I'm doing. I think I did 6 SIS beta fuels, which is 40 grams for Seville. Far more. But you have to train your gut for that. And I didn't have enough time really to train my gut for it either. So.
What about fueling in the half then? What did you use for that?
I've definitely switched in the half. So I think I had 1 gel.
Right.
And it was again probably the Talk ones. There was no reason why I'm not using Talk anymore. Just beta fuels are more carbs. That's what I use now. And I was using 1 Talk gel, and now I'd probably have 2 beta fuels, which is a lot more, isn't it? But you can get away with it in a half. But I think there's a lot of studies now saying that more carb is better.
Absolutely.
And if you can do it, I mean, if you look at the top marathon runners, the sub 2 guys, they're on a lot of carbs per hour. They're doing about 45 minutes less running than me. But their per hour carb load is a lot.
So your eventual time in that marathon was 2:54:06, which is a pretty impressive debut off just 8 weeks' notice. But you think that 8-week build-up might have actually been a blessing in disguise because you didn't have time to overthink it? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly why. Like, I mean, I get nervous for races, but I think I've got quite a cool head. But the marathon's daunting, and for it being your first one, it was nice for it. There was I literally had no supporters. I happened to know one girl that was there supporting her boyfriend, and I was like, oh hey, on the course. But it's quite nice that people are just Spanish people shouting "Vámonos,"
just anonymous,
and reading my women read your name on your bib, which I think is a brilliant part of marathon running, especially when you're near the front. Because I'm surrounded by men, particularly in Spain. I think the ratio at Seville was 30% women finishers.
Oh wow.
Something like that. It's compared to the UK where London is 50-50. So I think a fast woman in one of the Spanish races is a bit
wow,
cool. Especially not you've got the elite field and then there might be a bit of a gap until they see another woman. And so it's quite nice that, and my name's sort of Spanish. So Louisa. I'm that's me. So that was nice.
Sean, are people shouting Cena to? Okay, you mentioned about the length of your long runs, but going back to the actual specifics, you were doing some marathon work within those long runs, weren't you?
Yeah.
Can you give an example of some of the types of runs you were doing?
I've got to remember them now. It's been a little while. It'd be one of the hardest ones I did was while I happened to be in America for, God, I don't even know why I was there. Some trip. I was visiting friends, and I was there for a few weeks. So I basically did a training camp for Valencia in the States, and it was like 4 miles, 3 miles, 2 mile, 1 mile, but getting quicker each set. So you'd maybe do 6 miles to start, 6 to 9 miles to start, and then you do your session, which I always thought, God, that's awful, because you've done a lot of running and then you're supposed to go quick. But I kind of liked them, because if you can lock in and you feel good, it's the best feeling ever, because you feel so smooth. Whereas if you just plod on a long run, it often doesn't feel like this. I feel like there's a switch there when you're starting to run 6 something pace, and that's when I started to be I think I'll be all right here. I was running maybe 6:40 for I work in minute miles. 6:40 for the 4 miles, 6:30 for the 3, 6:20, 6:10, something like that. And that's when it all was starting to click.
Callum was really paying attention here. He wants to get that time.
I'll send you some sessions.
I'm not going for the marathon at
You say that now, but
But no, because when you mentioned then about the long runs, but doing a slow long run and then doing a long run with a session, you feel like that long run has such more purpose around it.
And it's just quicker as well.
Your mind just goes, well, I'm just going to break it up now. So
doing a hard slow run, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard just running.
That session that you mentioned then, I don't want to get into marathon training anytime soon, but that actually sounds enjoyable because you see that progression all the way down.
And you're probably quite fit at that point because it's one of the last few weeks when you do something like that. So you're not actually hitting your 20-mile long runs till the last 4 to 5 weeks, I suppose. And that's when everything should feel, maybe not perfect because you're tired, but you should feel like you can do that effort. There was a couple of long runs where I was like, oh my God, I don't I think it was the London block. I had one long run that was just bad. I don't really know why it was bad. Sometimes you have bad days, but I was I felt awful and I couldn't even run 6:30 pace. And I averaged 16s at London or something. No, maybe not quite London, but Seville it was 16s. And it's just you look back at that now, I'll do a session now. I'm fairly fit at the moment, but I'll run in the morning. I can't break 6:10 for a mile. I'm but I did a whole marathon at that pace pretty much. I can do that. Come on.
I did a 5k all out the other night and it was the same as my marathon pace for Manchester this year. I can't even run a bath.
Sometimes it's like that.
So you did finally get your sub 80 at the Manchester half, where you ran 79:33. And then you progressed onto the Seville Marathon in February, where you ran a massive personal best of 2:46.54 with negative splits. So how rare and special does it feel to perfectly execute negative splits in a marathon? Because it's quite a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a very rare negative splitter. Like 5k, 10k, half. You rarely catch me negative splitting because I usually go off too hard and I'm holding on. Or like the middle portion of my race is usually where I like start to falter a bit, and then you've got to go head in the game, especially like 5k. I find that really hard, the middle portion. I just locked in. I was going. You're going slightly slower than the average pace I finished at to start with, so it should have. I knew it was supposed to feel pretty chill, but it felt more relaxed than I even thought it was going to feel. And then I started to push, and like your GPS is all wonky, and I just had to stop looking at it because I was like, it's telling me I'm going slower than I am, and I know I'm going quicker than this. So I was like, if I feel okay, I'm just going to let it happen. So I just started to edge it down, and I'd let myself sit at that pace for a while. And I'm like, it feels quite good. I kind of feel easy, and this was like 17, 18, 19 miles in.
And were you going past a lot of people as well?
Yeah. I mean, I would say this is probably why I like the marathon. I'm slightly different to yourself at the moment, but not got one plan for the foreseeable, but it's why I've had such a nice time in the marathons is I've been the person to be moving through. Even in Valencia, I had positive split, not horrendously, but positive split slightly. London, a positive split more, but not as badly as everybody else. And I think we're in it's a funny spot in running. I think there's a combination of club runners that have been over ambitious, but a lot of new runners that are, particularly men, trying to run quicker than either they're capable of or they've not prepared properly. I'm sure most of them can run the time they were looking for, but they've over-egged it or they've not taken into account the heat. Like London was hot, and so I went, I'm not getting my A goal anymore. I'm going to just try and hold on to this pace. I was supposed to pick up last 10k and I didn't, because I couldn't. And I was like, well, I'll still be fine. I'll still run a PB. And then I cried when I saw it said 2:51 rather than 52, which is silly because it's the same thing. But I thought it had gone worse than it had. But Seville, it just kept clicking, and I kept finding people to hang on to. I had this man who was like really like. Quite often you feel a bit intimidated in races as a woman. And there's one man, lovely guy, Spanish guy, I think. He was like, come on. And we just ran together for maybe 10 miles. And I think he thought he was doing me a favour, to be honest. But I think I was doing him a favour because he dropped off at like 16 miles and I didn't see him again. I found him eventually in the results. I think he ran like 2:50 something. I assume he was going for 2:50, which is the pace we were running at. So it's good to just find groups to latch on to. Absolutely, so I just kept doing that. And then even at the end, there was this random guy. I feel like maybe his race hadn't gone to plan, but he saw me. He was like, that's cool. Because I was like 33rd woman in Seville. So I was pretty high up. And like the elites, there was maybe 20 elites. So of the mass people, there was not many women around.
I do think you tend to get that a lot more in a marathon though. Everybody wants supportive and wants to help each other.
It's lovely.
And if you do a 5k and a 10k,
everyone's out for themselves.
You've got really quick women and there's men around them. All the men want to do is beat the women.
Absolutely.
But I'm not
I definitely find it's mixed in marathons because I think there's definitely a lot of ego out there. And I'm fairly short. I'm 5'5". I don't think I come across like I'm not super lean, which is what like a stereotypical fast marathon runner is. You like your Ailish McColgans, really tall and long and leggy, and I'm a bit, like I said, a shuffler. So you could say my style doesn't look super athletic, but I can shuffle quite fast, and I can maintain that pace. And I think I'm good at pacing. I think that's fair to say. My coaches used to be like, follow Louisa to the girls that weren't so good at pacing. But I don't know, it just all clicked, and my fueling was right. As I said, I upped the gels. My tummy was fine, because that's always the worry. We were staying right near the course. My whole family was there. It's just amazing when you get that feeling. And it was like, it's going well. And you get positive reinforcement, don't you? And I think your adrenaline spurs you on, but you're like, oh my god, that's mile 20, and I feel fine.
Yeah.
And just the crowds were good. I don't know, just a good day. It was horrible, really.
Is that the last one that you've done?
Yeah, in February.
Yeah.
Has it put you off doing another though, because it went so well? Did you want to
Partly.
hold on to it? Or,
Partly, I think.
So you've not got any more planned at the moment?
No, I had a thought to do one in the autumn. Still a possibility.
A local one, like Chester or something?
No, it would be a big one.
Right.
With work, we've got some opportunities.
Yeah.
But I'm only going to do it if I'm doing it properly.
Yeah.
Which I completely understand why people go to travel around the world and do marathons. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to do it, it's going to be an attempt at a PB.
Yeah.
I'd like my next one to be as close to 240 as I can get.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to work really hard at that.
Yeah.
And pick the right race and the right time and
But it's good as well that you've got that drive for it, where some people would go, like Katie said then, you've got such a good time there, and then some people would shy away and go, I'm not really just in case it goes a little bit wrong. Like, I'm not saying
scary.
I had a stinker this year, but it went wrong for me, but I was only 20 seconds off a PB. And then seeing other people that really go all in, like Sean had a little bit of a shocker at London, but he still again got a good time. But it's how you change that mindset of how you're attacking it. But
I think the marathons are something to respect, and
absolutely,
particularly when you're you guys are all the same, that club runner, you want to do it to your fullest. I think I probably would have enjoyed London more if I ran round in 3:10.
Yeah.
Probably would have had a much more enjoyable time because those crowds are nuts. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I actually ran well for the day, compared to most people who had shockers. A lot of people last year because it was so hot. Still PB'd and everything, so I was happy. But Seville's much more chill. I think that's why it went so well. It just all clicked, and you can't. My next one's a bit scary because what if it doesn't click? What if I finally have the race where I'm like, that was the worst day of my life? Because you hear it all the time. The best runners have the worst days.
Absolutely.
And you can only train so hard, but you have to go at the pace that you're going to try and finish it.
And you have a lot of people
so
as well.
You don't know how it's going to go.
A lot of things on socials. Everyone's normalising the marathon. We mentioned this a few episodes ago, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to do a marathon." There's so many people that again go for that sub 3 goal, that sub 250 goal, that are maybe not in the position to go for it, but it's normalised so much. It's so much hard work that goes into it, and the fact that you did it off. Well, you did it off the half marathon, and then you built into the training for Seville, showing that you get 2 great PBs. Because we mentioned before we started recording, our PBs are so close together, apart from the marathon, which was the time that I was going for.
I do think my marathon might be my best mark at the moment. Which is, I need to get the other ones down. Really, that's my next goal. But I find that training almost harder. Like doing fast work, it's hard.
Marathon training for me, I find it an enjoyable process.
And you can do it in your own time. Whereas I feel like trying to run quick, you kind of have to be in a group. And I haven't quite found, I train with Wilmslow sometimes, but it's on a Tuesday and I have to linger after work for a while. And if it's dark and I just kind of want to get my session done early. So I'm not always motivated to go to Wilmslow Running Club. So I'm trying to find possibly a group around here, but a lot of the groups, if it's girls particularly, they'll be training for 1500. And that's not me. I vowed to never do a 1500 again in my life, but I want to get quick at the 5k, so it's difficult.
So your 2:46 in Seville officially beat the Whittingham family record held by your dad, who was of course a previous guest, and you even managed to impress your granddad, which you noted is no mean feat. So has your dad gracefully handed over the crown now, and what did your granddad have to say about you running 2:46?
I think my dad knew it was coming, to be fair. The writing was on the wall. When I ran at London, I was about 52nd. What did he? No, he ran 250 something, 250.30, something like that. And that was what I was going for at London. And so I think he was a bit like, I was pretty close. She'll get me next time. And as I said, he was pre-carbon. I'll give him a bit of slack, and he was somewhat old. I think he was about 45 probably at the time. So it's really good for about 45 without carbons. I don't know. We're probably about even Stevens now with me being in carbons and being young. But yeah, he was graceful in his defeat. I need to get his other times though. His 5, 10, and half are all faster than mine.
Oh,
so there's the next goals. They're pretty quick. I think 77 something for half. Yeah. So that'll be a hard one.
If you've run 2:46 for the marathon, that should be within reach. Yeah.
I think so. Got to find the time for it. Find the right race as well.
And it's fitting it all in, isn't it? Like you say, it's training for a marathon. It takes a long time, doesn't it? And then training for a 5K is totally different. And it's like, what do you feel?
I want to get
you
all
can't
the
do everything
as well. Yeah, I want to do them all.
Can't do everything. Yeah.
So I'll see how many I can get this year.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to do a bit more cross country this year.
Yeah.
Maybe have a bit of a break from the marathon is my new thought. But yeah. What was your other question, Grandad?
Yes. What did your granddad have to say about your time?
He was impressed.
Oh.
And does it take a lot to impress him?
Yeah. So he's a very good runner at his time. I think his best mark is probably 49 minutes for 10 miles because they did a lot of mile races, not very many kilometre races. About a 2:30 marathon runner, but I think he was like working full time and didn't train properly for it and all that. So very good runner, but also very high standards. Like when I was younger, if I did a good race, like that was good. It'd be like that was good, and you knew that you didn't impress him. But he's a lovely man. Yeah, it's not like he's being horrible.
No, just got a high.
You can just tell when he's really impressed. And I remember him telling I was talking to him with somebody else, and they were asking me what time are you going for at Seville. And I was like, I'm hoping to run under 2:48 because I was being a little bit coy because you don't know how it's all going to go. I definitely want sub 2:50. That's what I was saying. That's my B goal. 2:48 would be good. And I think my granddad said something like, "Yeah, you'd be good to run sub 2:50, sub 2:50." Like he'd got his head round me running slower than what I ran. Yeah. And I think I called him afterwards, and he was like, "Well, I didn't expect that." And I think my dad said the same, that when they were looking at the splits that were coming through, they saw the halfway split or something and thought, oh, she's gone off a bit fast. I don't know if she's going to be able to hold this. Because my dad's convinced that you have to bonk in a marathon because he did every single time they did one. And so he was like, I think she's going to fall. Like, I hope she doesn't, but I think she's going to fall off the splits. And he was like, I didn't know if they were right when they kept coming through. And I was like, yep.
Right, we've had a question submitted by Belinda Brennan. Shout out Belinda.
It's a very Belinda question.
It's a very Belinda question, this. 'Cause listeners who...
It's about trainers.
Yes. So obviously you work at Run Northwest, and quite aptly Belinda asked, what are your favourite shoes for the distances you run? So obviously you're very knowledgeable about shoes. You get to try a lot on throughout the course of the year. So what are your favourite shoes for the distances that you run?
I think it's hard because I'd like to try every shoe, and there's only so many. Like, I just think it's a complete overconsumption if I had one of every brand and one every style, because I want to try everything. But I limit it to the ones that I'm like.
I think Belinda does.
Belinda might.
She must spend the most money in that shop.
I have to bring them to work to repurpose to the other staff because I'm like, I have too many shoes. Yeah. I've worn them a bit, but I don't need it. Like, I have so many pairs of carbons and I only race so much on the road, so you have to pick and choose. It's a hard question. Probably for racing, like 5k, 10k, I've not tested them loads, but I think the Puma Fast R is pretty unmatched on the speedier stuff, which is controversial because I'm a severe heel striker and I don't think they're brilliant for heel strikers. I tried them at Manchester Half when I ran 79.33, and obviously they worked for me running fast, but my ankles did not like me after that.
Oh, really?
So I won't wear them again for a half. I need to try the Elite. I think that could be good. But I've never tried them before.
The Elite are a little bit more stable than the Fast R.
And sneak preview, the next Fast R looks like it'll be better for heel strikers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had a look at the other week. Adios Pro 4 is my marathon shoe. Started in the New Balance, so I was New Balance Elite V4, which is the like slightly wider based one, and I think that's a really sensible marathon shoe, but I don't think it was aggressive enough for what I was then going for at Seville. So I tried the Adidas, and I thought they'd be too unstable again because I'm a big heel striker, but I think they were really good. And I even saw pictures, and sometimes you see pictures and your ankles are like, and I look pretty. For me, I'm quite a roller. But they were pretty good for me. Yeah. So probably for racing those.
Yeah. And then what about training? What would you do your long runs and your day-to-day runs?
I changed my training sheet quite a lot because I think mostly because I like to try new trainers because I think it's a bit boring if you stick in the same one. At the moment, a bit of a rogue one. I'm running in not rogue. The Nike Pegasus has been around for a long time, but Pegasus 42.
It used to be your shoe.
I did. I used to love the Pegasus.
I was having a bit of a Achilles jip. And it's a higher drop than most others. So I thought I'll give that a go, and it's pretty solid. Like it's got a bit of bounce, but it's not super soft. So I thought I'll try that. But sort of ironically, I also wear the Gel Nimbus from Asics, which is probably the opposite. But I think actually
robust, isn't it?
I think the comparison of the two is quite good, and if I'm feeling good, then I might wear my Nimbus, and feeling my Achilles is a bit flared up, maybe I'll wear the Pegasus. But I'm pretty unpicky on training
flexible.
shoes. I've tried loads. The New Balance 1080 I think is great, and then like training shoes like speed shoes. Mac X I really enjoyed. Mac X2 that was.
Are they the Hockers?
Yeah. Hocker. Or Hoka. we get a lot of that in the shop. Is how do you pronounce it?
I know I thought that before, and I said Saucony or
Saucony would be correct. We get told by the reps. It's not me being self-righteous. Like I have to say Nike.
I was going to say Nike.
I'm afraid I do have to say Nike. I forget about Adidas. Adidas. I think.
Adidas.
I don't know.
I think you said Adidas before.
I change it. I think.
We all know who you're talking about.
Right, you have to be very careful how you answer this next question because your boyfriend is sat right behind me. Okay, we have a feature called Desert Island Run, and we ask you to choose your dream run location, distance, and person to run with. So, let's see how you tackle this one.
What is it? Location first?
Location, distance, and person to run with.
I was trying to think like where I've ran because I feel like otherwise you don't know actually if you'd like it. Some of the best runs ever were in Font-Romeu. So with Birmingham, every year they go in April for 3 weeks to Font-Romeu. It's just beautiful, really nice. I've had some really good runs in America as well actually. The national parks there are unbelievable. Although recently I did go to New Zealand, and that's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. And I didn't do a lot of running, but we did a park run at Wanaka Park Run. That's the best. I'm not a big park runner, but I've done a lot because you do them with our family and stuff. That's the most beautiful park run I've ever done in my life. Have you heard of the Wanaka tree? No. It's next to a lake, and there's this tree that's kind of just all on its own. It's just pretty. You have to look it up.
We'll have to Google it.
But
we'll have to go.
I don't have an exact
just
one.
go.
I'll go Font-Romeu just to keep it.
And distance and person to run with?
Distance. I like a long run. Probably not super long, like 13 miles, something like that. I have to say Reed because he's here. But friends and family really. I think a run goes by really fast when you're running with someone you know. I ran with Dave before. You're a good one to run with.
Not Sprout.
Not Sprout.
Do you like running with Sprout? Why?
Well, she's a bit lazy.
Oh, is she?
And B a bit pathetic. To be fair, she's not very good at the heat. So if it's above like 12 degrees, she just doesn't want to do it.
Oh really?
I
thought she'd love that.
The other day I tried to run with her because I was looking after her. Family were away, so I was like, I'll go look after her and I'll take her for my run because that 2 birds 1 stone, run and walk Sprout. And I let her stop to go to the toilet, obviously. But then I'm like, come on, you got to stop pretending to go for a wee now because that's what she does. When she wants to stop, she goes for a wee and she's not weeing. And so I'm actually like my arms fully extended behind, dragging her. I'm going like 8 30-minute mile. I'm not I'm not forcing her to session with me, but she wasn't, so I just ran her home. I was like, that's enough of that.
Collie, ain't she? I thought she was
sometimes she's good as gold, and it's lovely, but she's not my favourite person to run with.
Quite stubborn. I like it. She's got a bit of personality.
Yeah, she's my favourite person to hang out with, I guess.
Yeah.
My favourite work colleague. Sorry, everyone else.
All right, so we also have our quick fire round. So let's see how you got on with this. So cross country, yes or no?
Yes.
Park run, race or not a race?
Race.
Carbons for park run?
Sure.
Run in any weather or head to the treadmill?
Any weather.
Stretching or no stretching?
No stretching.
Gym work on Strava, yes or no?
No.
Good answer. Post run beer or post run protein shake?
Depends on the day.
Stop your watch or not when you stop during a run?
I do, but I should get out of the habit of it.
Track races or no track races?
No track races, but bring back Parliament Hill Night, the 10,000.
Absolutely. And finally, ice baths and saunas?
No.
Definitely not.
Don't bother with any of that.
If I had a sauna, I'd probably use it, but CBA going to the gym to use one.
You don't build it into your training.
No, I should. I did it a little bit before Seville for heat training in case it was hot. I'm glad it wasn't, because I only went like twice.
But you ticked it off as training.
I'm rubbish at going to the gym, honestly.
There was one thing that was said by Lindsay Hunt from Precision. He said about 3 or 4 weeks out, starting to use hot baths.
Yeah.
As heat training.
Hot baths still.
We don't have a bath. Just got showers. So can I just stand in the shower?
That's quite the same.
Yeah. Wouldn't enjoy that, Bill.
Yeah, Precision were one of the recent sponsors of one of our episodes, and of course we just started stocking them at Run Northwest.
Can be bought at Run Northwest.
Yeah, but it would it'd be a good one for you to try in training as well.
Yeah, I know. There's just so many brands of everything.
We were raving about the chews.
Those jellies.
That really
good.
effective if you want
it's
something that you can
30
chew
carbs,
on beforehand.
No, I like their hydration tablets actually. I have used those before.
Yeah, they are really good.
They got to be good if what's the name? Cocodona.
Yeah. What's the name?
What's the name?
That's the name.
I follow some ultra stuff, but I forget it. Rachel? Is that it? Yes, Rachel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right, that concludes all the questions. So thank you for joining us. You'll be pleased to know you've not beaten the record for the longest interview. It's currently held by your dad.
It's not
keep on record.
You can have that one.
You can have that one.
Yeah.
No, thank you for joining us. It's been really, really good. And yeah, obviously, well done on your journey so far. Just look forward to seeing what you can do in your next marathon now.
We'll see. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I haven't signed up to
get those shorter distance times down as well. You can definitely get them down.
Yeah, maybe an America one next year.
Thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks Louisa. Good luck with everything.
Thanks.
That's it for this episode. In our next interview, we'll be speaking to a runner who has been coached by James Moles for London Marathon this year. He has PBs of 19 minutes for the 5k, 1:23 for the half marathon, and 3 hours 4 for the marathon. We'll be speaking to George Lewis. So get your questions in the usual ways: Instagram, Facebook or X.